Good evening. Welcome to Famous Courtroom Trials. Tonight, one of the most dramatic and gripping cases in courtroom history, the trial of Mrs. Peter Piper. This is the old and regal King's Court in London. The key figures in this drama are entering the courtroom now. There is Lord Simon Humphreys for the Crown. And I see now Sir Guy Williams, the great defense attorney who is representing Mrs. Piper. The judge is the eminent Sir Philip Swade. The bailiff is ordering the court to be still, and the case will now begin.
Hear ye, hear ye. Her Majesty's court is now in session.
My lord, I should like to call Mrs. Peter Piper to the stand. Mrs. Peter Piper, please, bailiff.
Mrs. Peter Piper.
Order, order. Do you solemnly swear to tell the wrong truth and nothing but the truth to help you?
Of course.
Now then, you are the wife of the deceased,
I am.
and your husband's name was
Peter Piper.
Mrs. Piper. What was your husband's occupation?
He was in the pickle pepper business.
And just what did he do in the pickled pepper business?
He picked a peck of them.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Your witness?
Mrs. Piper, you say that your husband was a pickle pepperer?
I did not.
Then what did you say?
I said he was a pepper pickler.
Oh, and would you please then tell the court just what is the difference between a pickle pepperer and a pepper pickler?
A pickle pepper peppers pickles, and a pepper pickler pickles peppers.
My lord, I object. The deceased's occupation has absolutely no bearing on this case.
On the contrary, my lord, I am trying to establish that on the night of the crime, the deceased was not peppered, he was pickled.
Order, order.
Thank you.
Overruled.
Your witness?
Mrs. Pickle,
Mrs. Piper.
I beg your pardon.
My pleasure.
Mrs. Pepper,
Mrs. Pickle.
Mrs. Pickle?
No, I mean Mrs. Piper.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
Your witness?
Mrs. Piper, on the eve of January 3rd last, exactly what did your husband do?
He picked a peck of pickled peppers.
And then what?
That's all.
You mean he did nothing after he pecked a peck of pickled peppers?
That's correct. He did nothing after he picked a peck of pickled peppers.
Why not?
He was pooped.
Then would you please tell the court what happened to the peck of pickled peppers that Peter Piper picked?
He packed them.
Oh, he packed them in what?
Paper plates.
Why paper plates?
Peter planned a picnic.
You mean Peter planned a picnic with nothing but pickles and paper plates?
No, there were pancakes, pumpkin pie, peppermint patties, pineapple punch, peanut butter popovers, and breaded pork pot pie.
Poppycock!
No, pumpernickel!
Order. Order.
A preposterous prevarication, Mrs. Piper. The plain truth is that Peter Piper probably saw a picture of you in Piccadilly Park, pecking with Paul Peters, the porter, and promised to plug you, so you popped him on the pate with a poker.
You're potted!
I object. Order in the court. There is one more outburst like this, I will clear the courtroom.
Your witness?
Mrs. Piper, do you have any hobbies?
Yes, I have two hobbies, actually.
Oh, and they are?
Poetry and pottery. I just sort of putter with the poetry, but pottery is my real pet.
What kind of pottery?
Pewter.
Any particular period pewter?
No, just pretty plain pewter pottery.
I protest that my opponent is just putting in poetry, pottery, and pretty pewter pottery to pester the prosecution.
Overruled.
Poo-poo-padoo.
Quiet in the court.
Huh? My lord, I've just been handed a piece of evidence that I think will throw an entirely new light on this case. May I introduce it?
Very well.
Yeah. Mrs. Piper, I have just learned your true identity. It's of no use covering up any longer. Tell the court your real name.
Oh, no, please don't make me say it. Don't make me say it.
The truth, your real name.
Cecily Susan Sussman.
And where are you from, Cecily Susan Sussman?
Sussex.
And what do you do in Sussex?
I sell.
And what do you sell?
Seashells.
And where do you sell seashells?
At the seashore.
Now then, the entire story.
All of it?
All of it.
My name is Cecily Susan Sussman from Sussex, and I sell seashells at the seashore. And one sunny Sunday in Surrey, I saw my spouse sipping a spot of scotch and soda with my sexy spinster sisters, Cecilia. So for spite, I sent him spinning over the side of a stony cliff into the surging surf below. I have sinned, I am sorry, so seal me. Sob!
I'm afraid I didn't quite catch all of that testimony. Will the court stenographer please read it back for us?
Go on.